Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing Stockfish, but it mirrors the quality of your last move. Thank you to Neon Ferret for leaving this idea in a comment. If you have any ideas you'd like me to try, feel free to comment them down below. You can also play this bot on iwantcheckmate.com. My goal is to win one game. Let's get started with game number one. Alright, game number one against Mirror Fish that is going to be copying the quality of our move. That's to say, if I play the absolute best move in the position, then it will also play the best move. If I play the second best move, it will do the same, and so on and so forth. So if I play what I know Stockfish believes to be the best move, which is pawn to e4, then it should respond, right, with pawn to e5, which is what it believes is the best move in the position. So weirdly enough, I need to find a way to play the worst move possible that requires the best response. So far, we are perfectly symmetrical. So for instance, if I play bishop takes f7, that is obviously an objectively horrible move because the king simply takes back and I've lost a piece. But Stockfish won't be able to respond with that. So if I take here, which is objectively, the nth best move, or probably one of the worst moves in the position, Stockfish will have to play something absolutely different that is not taking back. So it will have to give up material of its own. If it could, it would probably just take on f2 and copy my exact move to the T, basically. Now, bishop takes f7 has the nice quality that it's also check. So it cannot copy me by playing the exact same move that I've played. It has to play one of the two responding moves. Obviously, taking back here would have been the best of those three moves, but this was definitely not a number one move contender. So instead, we're met with king to e7. Now, if I want to keep the material, I can't play a best move on the next turn because it's most likely that taking back will also be the best move. So I'm actually kind of incentivized to continue playing sort of sketchy chess. Now, I don't know how bad this move is, but I kind of want to play queen to h5 because I know for a fact g6 there probably loses me the bishop, or I guess I have queen to f3 and then knight to f6. I was gonna say, I don't think queen to h5 is the best move on the board, which makes it an actual threat, right? Because if queen to h5 creates a threat, but queen to h5 itself is not the best move on the board, then Stockfish won't be able to respond to the threat with the best move possible, say, I don't know, pawn to d6. So I'm gonna throw that onto the board and I think capitalize on the fact that Stockfish is kind of stuck in the middle of the board. Okay, I didn't account for the fact that it probably has 1 million different ways to defend that pawn on e5 that are not pawn to d6. So we are met with knight to c6. I think I can just continue to play terrible moves that also create attacking possibilities. Like, for instance, pawn to d4 here is probably terrible because it loses material. Okay, Stockfish just takes my pawn, but then again, now e5 is hanging. If I take on e5, I don't think it can take on f7 because that's probably the best move in the position unless queen takes e5 is also the best move. But why would queen takes e5 be the best move if I lose a bishop? Maybe because I grab its bishop on c5? There's so much to calculate here. It's really quite involved. Okay, maybe I take on g8 first then. Assuming it recaptures, then I can take on e5, be pretty confident that's the best move in the position, and then no matter how it defends itself, I guess then it has knight to e6 though defending c5. Wow, this is all very, very involved. Oh, you know what I could do? I could play queen to g5 check. And because this is almost certainly not the best move in the position, it won't be able to defend with the only move that it has, which is knight to f6. Any other move there, like moving the king away, for instance, loses the queen. And that might just be straight up enough material advantage to defeat, regular Stockfish, even without accounting for the fact that it has this sort of drawback rule enabled. So maybe I can just play this check. Nice, and we do get king to d6, right? And the reason that we played queen g5 instead of bishop to g5 is because there's actually not an unreasonable chance that bishop to g5 was the best move. But now I just grab a free queen. That's definitely the best move, so it's going to challenge me, I'd assume. I was kind of expecting knight takes c2, but it's probably seeing checkmating ideas that it needs to avoid. So we get king to c6 instead, and frankly, I can play this however I please now. I'll go ahead and just play knight to, knight to a3. Doesn't defend c2 because bishop takes, removes the guard, and knight c2 lands on the board anyways, but then I have like king to d1. Even if I lose the rook, I trap the knight, so I don't really think I care all that much. Let's just start taking free stuff. We'll take the knight on g8. We are in fact met with check. I'll slide the king over. Even if the knight takes, the knight is trapped in the future. Oh, it takes me on g8. Okay, I'll go ahead and take back. We're still threatening the knight, but again, I think I just have so much material advantage that there's no way I don't win this, even against regular old Stockfish, not even accounting for, again, its drawback. Playing check draws the king out to b5. We'll play check with the knight. Should be pretty straightforward. King goes back to b6. We have check on a4, drops the bishop. Nice, we'll snag that up and we'll have a pretty nice checkmate here in just a moment. Oh wait, pawn forward allows knight sack, pawn takes, king takes. I mean, it'll be made at some point anyways. It doesn't really matter. We'll take back. At that point, we're just playing semantics. King comes down to b3. The king is all by his lonesome self and getting very quickly surrounded by my own pieces. So let's give check on b5. We want to make sure the king has to stay on my side of the board. And with queen to b2, we do in fact defeat mirror fish. Now, interestingly enough, this does raise the question, is this solvable in the sense that is there like, because I know for a fact e4 is the best move, so we should always get e5 in response. So is there a way to quote unquote solve this variant for the most hyper efficient checkmate possible? It seems, at least my intuition is telling me it seems possible. There should be like a hard coded like solution to this, I feel like. What I can't do is something like, I don't know, queen to h5, for instance. Even assuming that it doesn't stop me from taking on f7, if I drop the queen on f7, it only has one legal move, which is for the king to take back. So that doesn't end the game with like checkmate or something, just because this is, I don't know, the nth worst move or whatever. Stockfish only has one move in response, so it will take back on f7. So that doesn't work. I wonder if Scholar's Mate works. Is that a dumb idea? Bishop coming out. Pawn to, oh, we get pawn to c6 instead of bishop to c5. What about queen to h5? That's objectively not a great move. Okay, we get knight to h6. That's really interesting because d5 was the best move there, but it probably couldn't play it because queen to h5 is definitely not the best move there. Let's go d4, threaten the knight on h6. Okay, it does in fact take, but now this might actually be the best move, to take the knight because we threaten mate. So it might be able to defend itself appropriately, which it does with pawn to d5. Okay, interesting. What if I just take on d5? That's definitely a terrible move. It's definitely not even top 3, but it does reinvigorate the checkmate threat. Okay, so it does defend itself. Okay, I guess at the beginning of the game, it just has so many different ways to defend itself that it's never actually going to get mated. Like if I take here, we do just win another free pawn, and obviously it can't take back because that would be the best move, and queen takes f7 is definitely not the best move because it loses material. So we get king to d8 instead. What about bishop g5? Also, just a completely free piece, which it cannot take, and allows me to win the queen because again, it can't respond with a best move if I make a terrible move. Okay, but I don't think that was particularly efficient. I'm going to restart that game. I wonder if there's a hard and fast solution that we can give this. I do think e4 is probably on the right track. Targeting f7 and targeting c7. Oh, we get e6 instead. I was going to say are probably our best bets. But if it's going to give me a slightly different response every time, then that's probably not going to fly. Okay, what if I bring out the knight super early and I just throw it against its position? Like I just take on d5 willy-nilly and I just force the king to come out. I take on c7, which is a terrible move, which means the king has to come out to play. I don't know, I take on e6, which is an even worse move, but I'm undressing the king's position. I don't know, d4 to follow, maybe get the bishop out soon. Check on b5 looks really convincing, forces the king out even further. And then what? It's like checkmate in a couple more moves here. Check on e5 might actually lose me the knight because it might be actually no, it wouldn't lose me the knight because by being a move that loses me the knight, it can't lose me the knight. Wow, that's such a weird thing to think about. That because this hangs a knight, it doesn't hang a knight because of the rule set. Very, very strange. Okay, now if I were to give something like check on f3, then I definitely lose the knight because it has no other legal defense against that. What if I give check here though? Wow, king comes up to e4. That is a crazy response, and now queen to f3 is in fact mate. Okay, I didn't come to the hard and fast solution that I was kind of looking for, but I think we learned a lot about how this bot works, and it's not really nearly as scary as it seems at first, because it seems like it would emulate your play, but not really. It's just, at least not when you're actively finessing it, it's pretty easy to tear apart. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below if you have any other freaky ideas. Thanks again to Neon Ferret for leaving this idea in a comment. Leave your ideas down below, and I'll make them for future videos. Again, you can try this bot yourself on iwantcheckmate.com. There are no ads or accounts or any funny business. It's just an archive of all the bots that I've played on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.